Hello, everybody. So in this session, I'm going to evaluate neptune.ai, and we'll be running the TensorFlow Keras model and see how Neptune can help us tracking the model performance. And there are many other features it supports, like model registry, and you can track the logs and number of matrices to it, and we'll see how we can do that. So let's start by first creating an account, which I already created, and you can log into the. Once you land to the dashboard, first what you can do, you can enable the Neptune so that you can directly use it from your Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook. That's a pretty nice feature that they have. So for that, you need to grab the API token for your account so that you can get it from here. And based on the platform that you want to use, you can copy the API token. So the API token for me is here. So I'm going to copy it. Then next you can go to your Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab. So I'm going to give you an example for the Jupyter Lab, so how you can enable it here. So for that, you need to first install the Neptune plugin, which you can search here. And for me, as I already installed it, so you can install it from here. Just make sure the Node.js and npm are installed on your environment before enabling it. Otherwise, it gives the exceptions. Once you enable it, then it will ask you to give the API token. Once you will enable it, it will give you a pop-up. So you can then add the API, which you got it from here, and then you are ready to use that. So once you have configured your API token, you will get these features for the and which are coming because of the Neptune. So basically, you can upload your notebooks which you are getting from here, which you are writing, and it will create a snapshot on the cloud account of the Neptune, which I will showcase you in a couple of minutes. Okay, so now we'll start creating a project on Neptune and give a name as TensorFlow Keras experiment. And here you can define the key for the project, which will help you in track while you will be doing the experimentation. And here you can choose the project type. Let's continue with the private. And once you land after creating your project, it will ask you which framework you want to use. So I want to continue with TensorFlow and Keras. So first it will tell you to install the libraries, which are basically the Neptune client and Neptune TensorFlow library and the TensorFlow itself. So let's go ahead and create a notebook on our Jupyter Lab, and then we'll track the experiment. So let's give a meaningful name to this notebook also. I'll also show you how you can sync the snapshot of this notebook on Neptune as well. So once you created your notebook, you can install the libraries. So on this environment, I already installed these libraries, but you can install based on your environment. And then let's look into the program that they are giving for training the TensorFlow model. So in this program, they are first importing the TensorFlow libraries and Neptune libraries, and then creating a Neptune client based on the project and the API token. And then you can define the hyperparameters which you want to track on the Neptune. So several of them are given here. And basically then after that, as usual, you can create your Keras model, and you can define the callback from the Neptune, so which will track your each iteration of the training. After that, you can fit the model based on the training data set and define the epochs and the batch sizes that you want to give. But here the callback will be the Neptune callback, which they're providing. Once you do that, then you can run your experiment and define the hyperparameters that you want to track. And once it's all done, then you can stop your Neptune session. So let's run it and see how it goes. So here you can see it has started training, and now let's go to the dashboard of the Neptune and see what changes it has done. So you see, based on the client that we have defined, it has now synced with your Neptune cloud account and here created the first row for the experimentation. And as the experiment is going on, you can see these matrices are keep on changing based on how the performance is changing based on your training steps. So it has started with the accuracy of 69% and now reached till the 91%. And then your loss has been reduced to 28%. So this is how your training goes. And here you can see all the performance metrics which you want to analyze. Even you can add more columns for the parameters which you want to evaluate. It goes even to the level of memory and CPU. That's very nice. And if you want to go more into this experiment, then you can click on it, and here you can find under monitoring how the performance and the uses of CPU and memory goes on each iteration of your training. So you can see the CPU, how the CPU uses goes while training, how the memory goes from the training, and even it shows the logs here as well based on the each epoch that has been performed. And let's go to the charts tab. Here you can find the charts for your how your accuracy and loss was changing based on each epoch. So that's pretty amazing. You can analyze it here. And based on now your new run every time, it will create a new experiment row which you can track and you can compare based on your last run. So this is how it works, and here it is also storing all the metadata which is being involved while you are doing the experiments. So which you can track how my model performed on each iteration, on each experiment. So here, suppose we have given this batch size 4 and epochs 10. So that metadata will also be stored for use for your easily comparison when you will be doing a lot of experiment with the model, and that will be very handy. So now let's do one thing. Let's go again to our program, and this time let's make the epoch till 20, and let's keep the batch size and rest of the stuff same. And again, we will run the experiment and see how it has created the metrics on the cloud. So this time the epochs are 20, and let's go again to the runs, and here you see it has created a new run and it's continuing getting the matrices. So let's go to the charts. So I think it's pretty good. Even the model is still training, but it will dynamically keep on updating the graphs on the cloud. I think it's pretty interesting. So yeah, so now the training has been finished, and now you can see uh, the matrices, the new matrices, and now you can see that accuracy has been increased after 20 epochs to 95%. That's pretty amazing. And then again, you can have a track of all the parameters with which you train, and now you can see the epoch has been changed to 20, and similarly all the other hyperparameters. And let's also do one thing, since we are keep on changing the notebooks based on our experiment. At some point we also need the snapshots of what changes we did on at each experiment, and that I forgot to include during our last experiment. But this time, let's at least sync the current state. So what you can do for that is just to upload this notebook, and the plugin will showcase you all the projects where you want to put this notebook. So you can select the project appropriately, and here you can give the name of the notebook that you are working, and you can give the checkpoint name, checkpoint 1, and you can create a notebook. So once you create a notebook, you can see in your notebook also present on the cloud, and see how your notebook was at the state of the checkpoint 1. So let's see. So your notebook is here, and this is how your notebook looks like. Yes, yeah, and also it will give you the information about the checkpoint. Okay, now let's do the final experiment. Suppose changing the batch size to 128, and the epoch to 30, and run it again. And again create a snapshot of it, upload a checkpoint to current notebook. Yes, so let's give the checkpoint 2, load the checkpoint, and let's go to the notebooks, and here if you see, now it has created the other second checkpoint. Okay, initially we have not created the checkpoint, but with that also I think it has created the initial checkpoint. Okay, and then now that is also being finished, and here you see uh, how the accuracy now being gone down. So in the next video we will compare all of these experiments which have happened here, so that we can look them together, and also we will evaluate other features of the Neptune.